So our next speaker that we have here, speaking of love, I met this guy at one of the events, actually at Brent had in Maui. It was the first time I met him, and the most humblest guy. He smiles all the time. He smiles a lot, and you don't know if it's kind of something like he's up to, or if he actually just genuinely smiles because he's a nice guy. And this guy leads with love. He leads with heart and hustle in everything he does. He's been with us since 2019 EXP, and in the process, he's a two-time icon, by the way. Give it up for that, two-time icon, which is a very prestigious award. And now he's here, got a family-owned team. When you see him, his brothers and his family's always following him. It's amazing. It's like, I love that gel and that group. I miss it because I didn't have a family, so I love that. I'm gonna watch you all day long doing that. But our next speaker here, 2019, two-time Icon Award, 350 career sales at this point. Let's give it up for Justin Taparra. Give it up, give it up, give it up.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
What the? It's just a fake smile. What's up, everybody? I hope you're all having the best day of your entire life. No excuse. It's my birthday. I guess I'll start with that because I could have been anywhere today. I worked so hard to get to where I'm at.
Hold on real quick. I forgot about that. Dude, it is his birthday, by the way, and he's here today on his birthday to talk to you guys. We need to sing happy birthday, by the way. On the count of three, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Justin. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Thank you, everybody.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's how much I value this industry. If I can make this industry better by being on the stage and giving you guys some free nuggets, it makes it easier for me too. And I love that a lot of people talk about giving back and making it better for everybody. And I do that every day. It's in my blood. So, being up here, how did I even do this? There we go. Being up here, the opportunity is kind of crazy. I still can't believe that someone thought it was worth it for me to be up here when everybody who's speaking after me is miles ahead of me. But in my own brain, I believe that I belong here. And everybody should believe it too. Look at that guy. So I want to talk about something real with you. I want to tell you guys about my greatest fear in this business. And I think it would be super cool for all of you to write down your greatest fear so you can think about it in the future. But what's your greatest fear in this business? Is it that you're not gonna make enough sales to pay your bills? Are you gonna let your family down? Are you gonna lose your house and not be able to pay your mortgage? What is it? I'm gonna share mine with you today. But before I do, I'll just properly introduce myself. I know a lot of people might not know who I am. I'm the team leader of one of Hawaii's top real estate teams, Team Taparra. And I'm so grateful, If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team. I heard Dylan say that one time, and I truly believe it. I'm a local boy, born and raised on the island of Oahu. I went to a school called Kamehameha. I'm not sure if anybody heard of that school. Oh, there's some Kamehameha boys over there. In 2024, I didn't realize it until January of 25, but I helped 92 families last year. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would serve 92 families in 1 year. Especially 2024, was it the hardest year of real estate? Someone just told me that. This is 95. Oh, worst year since 95. I guess since I was born. Oh, sorry. The truth behind this beard is that I never would have hired a child who just got their license, so I grew up my beard to try to trick people, to get them to hire me, to think that I'm experienced. In my career now, I've helped 350 plus families, and to put that into perspective, when I explain it to a client, because some people just don't know that it's a lot of sales. In 6 years, right, I've helped 350 families, and the average agent helps 5 families per year, so I really feel like I have 70 years of experience. Now, I don't want to talk about EXP too much because everybody already knows it's an amazing company, but I've been here since 2023, but I started my career in 2019. So I came from a company called Century 21, and I absolutely loved it. I loved that company. I have nothing bad to say about it. But my sponsor, Tony Kawaguchi, took me to lunch one day, I thought we were just having lunch. I didn't know he was gonna pitch to me a new company. You know, he asked me one question that sold it to me instantly. He goes, Justin, do you know what your largest expense is as a real estate agent? And I said, yeah, marketing. Why? He goes, no, it's your broker split. I didn't even know that was an expense. I thought it was just something we had to do. Like it was just part of being a real estate agent. So he said, why don't you calculate it? Add up how much you paid to your broker in 2022. So I sat down all night through my 60 whatever sales. And I said, holy crap. I paid Century 21 over 200 grand in 2022, and I'm on a 90-10 split. So I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. So instantly, I joined eXp Realty, and my life changed forever. I hardly pay them anything. As an Icon agent, I basically pay them nothing. And a lot of agents out there are like, well, I like being in an office. I want to have an office. I don't believe in the cloud model brokerage. And I said, well, with that 200 grand, can't I start my own office? So 2024 was a big year for me because I was trying to figure out, should I open a new office? Should I get married? Or should I buy a house? Guess what I did? I did them all, baby. I did it all. Why can't you have it all in 1 year? That's what someone always told me. You can have it all. And I practice what I preach. I own 6 properties here on Oahu I'm not 29 years, I'm 30 years old now. And it's so funny because I'll go buy a car, right? And let's say, for example, looking for a new Ford to buy. But the car salesman who's trying to pitch this Ford to you drives a Toyota Tacoma. It's like hiring a real estate agent who doesn't own a property, or at least isn't striving to own a property. They don't even believe in their own product. So I feel like I'm qualified to be up here. Hopefully everybody agrees with me. But everybody should have a why. Like, why do you show up to these events? Why do you go to work every day? Why do you work so hard? I've been married since November of 2024 to the love of my life. And the reason why I'm psycho, the reason why I'm crazy, is because I want to give a life to my family that they don't even know they deserve. Like the unthinkable life. And yeah, today's my birthday, and I'm so happy to be here. But let's get back to my greatest fear, and I hope everybody wrote something down. My greatest fear is that I would become very successful in this business and that everybody would think it was just handed to me. You see, my story is like so different from a lot of other people. There's so many great underdog stories. And I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm an overdog. I made up that word on my own. It is because when I grew up, I had everything I ever needed. Like I had a father, Taparra. He's like the best real estate agent to ever walk the earth. He's been in the business for 35 years. He was the owner of the largest Century 21 brokerage for 30 years in Hawaii. And I got to learn under him my entire life, not just in my career. My mother's a top mortgage broker. You know, they were such good examples for me and my sisters. They are still married today, thriving marriage, and they had a positive impact on the lives of everybody they touched. And growing up, I just always told myself, I don't want to be a realtor because everybody's just going to think if I get good at it, it was handed to me. So when I finished college, I started working at Domino's as a manager. I don't even recognize that guy. That's why I got a beard. And I remember I wanted to buy my first home because my father always told me about it. Right, Dad? My dad's here today, by the way. Can you stand up, Dad? The greatest of all time, Taparra. Real men cry, Dad. It's okay. I love you, Dad. So I worked at Domino's, and I wanted to buy my first property, so I worked 100 hours a week. I'm not even joking. I would sleep in my car, wake up the next day in the parking lot of Domino's, brush my teeth because I wanted to buy a property so bad. And I ended up buying my first property working at Domino's, and that's the easiest pitch in the world to my clients. It's like, if I could buy a property working at Domino's, what's your excuse, right? So I bought my first property, and I remember Dad sat me down one day in the living room. I remember this. And he goes, Justin, he calls me Kainoa, actually. He goes, Kainoa, you know, if you had that kind of dedication in real estate, you could change so many lives. And I'm all about helping people. I know that's what my father likes to do. It's in my blood. So despite my greatest fear, I decided to leap into real estate on January 1, 2019. And it was probably the best decision of my entire life. I am lucky, though. If anybody says I'm lucky, it's absolutely true, because I would not be here without my dad right now. But I'll take you back to January 1 because 2019, when I first started, I told my father, please do not hand anything to me except for your knowledge, because I know that knowledge is valuable. I know that it's worth more than any amount of money could be. So I learned a lot through the training of my father. We rode together every day for 2 years. It was kind of annoying. My dad, I didn't like working for my dad, actually, because he's crazy. And I remember the first year, we'd go to showings, meet clients, meet other realtors, and it really pissed me off when they used to say to me, wow, Justin, you're so lucky to have a father like Rafael Taparra. You're destined for greatness. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I am very lucky. And it's like, as I got more successful, I heard it more and more, and I started to take it personally. Like all these other top agents that I'm associating myself with, like I can just feel it. They just think that I was handed the business. And I'm telling you guys, I wasn't. I made it my mission in 2019 that one day I would make it so that I want people to go to my father and say, you're so lucky to have Justin as your son. You know, my father used to always joke with me. He goes, just Kainoa, I'm the big hammer and you're the nail. But you know what? I was pretty cool to be on the cover of the Real Producer magazine. And when my father found out, he goes, Kainoa, you're now the big hammer and I'm the little hammer. That was so cool. So I know that introduction was a little longer than I wanted it to be just because I'm so passionate about how I got here. I'll never forget. I'll never get too cocky. But I learned a few things I want to talk about today. There's so many things I could talk about, but let's just go over the first step to becoming a top agent, the most valuable skill in the world, and 3 activities that every agent needs to focus on. These are all things that my father taught me, and I took it to the next level so that I could be a top agent. My father has the best attitude in the whole world. 7 a.m. every day, knock on my door. Hey, you up yet? Come on, it's time to sell some real estate. It's time to go help some people. This guy's literally jumping up. He can't wait to get to work. He's always so positive, well, except for with me, but he's always so positive. He just can't wait to help people every day. And if you want to be the best agent, if you want to get better right now, just snap your finger and decide to have a good attitude. In fact, decide to have the best attitude in the whole world. I don't know if anybody asked me this morning how I'm doing, but a lot of people call me on the phone and they ask me, hey, Justin, how you doing? And I always answer with the same thing. I'm having the best day of my entire life today. And then while they're laughing, I'm laughing to the bank. No, I'm just kidding. While they're laughing, I politely stop them and I say, hey, I know that's unusual, but the truth is when I wake up every morning, I make a non-negotiable agreement with myself. Non-negotiable meaning I cannot negotiate to have the best day of my life. No matter what happens the rest of the day, no matter things don't go my way, things do go my way, I have the best day. And then I ask people, hey, you having the best day today? And like, well, not really, it's good. I'm like, so you're telling me that when you woke up this morning, you decided not to have the best day of your life? It's no wonder that I sell 92 and you sell X, right? So I'm trying to motivate people to have the best day of their life every single day. But think about it this way. Who do clients want to work with? Do they want to work with winners or do they want to work with losers? Because if you wake up every day with the best attitude, it's really, really hard to lose. I'd even say it's impossible to lose. So if I can't lose, I'm always winning. So clients want to hire me because I'm a winner. So guys, have the best attitude every day. Don't let anything beat you down. You can't control the interest rates. You can't control the market, but you can control your attitude. You can control going into work early. You can control treating your clients at the highest level possible, higher than they've ever seen, not just in the real estate industry, but in any industry. There's so many high-level individuals out there in the world. What are you doing to be different? Have a good attitude. It's that easy. What else did Dad teach me? He didn't actually teach me this through his lessons. He taught it through me by being a great example. The most valuable skill in the world, a lot of people don't realize it, but who makes the most amount of money? It's not the pilots, it's not the doctors or the attorneys. Yeah, those are good jobs, but it's the COOs, the CEOs, the CFO, all the leaders of the organizations, because leadership is the most valuable skill in the world. And I think if you want to become more valuable tomorrow, focus on how can I become a better leader. My father, Rafael, he's the best leader I've ever known. Everybody loves my dad. Everybody wants to work for him. You know that guy had over 600 agents under him at one time at Century 21. Imagine if he was at eXp Realty. Jeez, Dad. Well, hey, he's at eXp Realty now, just so you all know. Yeah, he is on my team. He's under me, just so we all know. But what's the first step to becoming a better leader, guys? Because it's not about dropping everything and starting a team and then recruiting 20 people to your team tomorrow. We're not all there yet. We're not all fit for that yet. But you can start self-leading yourself a little better. You can start waking up early. You can start taking better care of yourself and having better conversations with yourself. You can start being more disciplined, being a better example. You know my team? I can't get rid of them. They want to come in the office and beat me to the office now. They want to stay later. Last night, I had to tell them to leave because we had to wake up early this morning. Like, that's what leadership is not having to tell people what to do, but make it their idea every single time. You know, if you don't self-lead yourself, if you can't take care of yourself, put yourself first, then you're not going to be qualified to lead others, just like how we have to lead a team sometimes, or we have to lead our clients. We're all leading every single day. We have to influence them to make the decision that's in their best interest. Is it in their best interest to hire me over the other 7,000 realtors? Absolutely. If you don't believe it, if I don't believe it, then they're not going to do it. If I wouldn't hire myself over everybody else, why should they? So being a leader is believing in yourself too first, and then that way you can take care of your clients and lead them in the right direction. So how do you get better at all of this stuff? Because there's 3 things that my father always made me do. He didn't call it exactly this, but I could connect it very easily to his business. And it's 3 things on the screen: selling something, finding something to sell, and training to get better. See, selling something's very, very easy. Once you have the client, it's like showing properties, going to inspections, making an offer. That's the easy part of the job. That's why everybody wants to get into real estate, because they see how easy it is to sell a property. You know what's really hard is number 2, finding something or someone to sell to. That's making the calls, prospecting, going to open houses. I remember when I was in the first year of my career, I would come home at like 11 p.m. after a long day of work, and my dad would ask me, "Hey, did you pass out your 21 cards, your Century 21 cards out today?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." He's like, "Well, turn your butt around." I'm not going to swear. Turn your butt around. I heard Foodland's open 24/7. Walmart's open 24/7. Times is open. So I would go and just make friends in the toothpaste section or in the steak section. Asking, "Hey, how do you like that toothpaste? By the way, I'm a realtor. Here's my card." That's just, you got to overcome that fear, right? Because if you write down what you're scared of, and then you're thinking, "Okay, man, I don't feel like doing that today." Well, look at what you wrote down. You're like, "Well, I can't afford for this to come true. I can't afford for people to think it was just handed to me. I got to go out there and find more business for myself. I don't want it handed to me." But number 3 is probably the most important. And I think that as agents get toward the top, they get so consumed and so busy with number 1, with selling something, with servicing their clients, with finding more clients to service, but they forget to train to get better. You know, every single day, guys, I spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day learning, training, role-playing, practicing my objection scripts. I can give any script to anybody. I have 10 different ways to handle the top 10 objections in every single part of this business: sellers, buyers, whatever. My neighbors think I'm crazy. I'll be having a conversation with myself while I'm driving, just to role play with myself. I'll be the client for a second, then I'll be the realtor, then the client. I'll give myself the hardest objection that I can possibly give myself. I get out of the car, walk into my house, I'm still talking to myself. My neighbor's looking at me like, "Is that guy on drugs?" So here's the secret. Put your phone to your ear, and now they think you're having a conversation with somebody. But every day I tell my team, like for training, it's only a script if you don't know it. Once you know it, you've changed your language. I mean, hey, Sam, how many vocal pauses have I said on this stage so far? How much is that? 0? Because everything I'm saying is just a script, everything. Like if someone asks me, "Oh, could you do it for less commission?" Well, the other guy says they could do it for 2.5, but, I can do it for 3, it's worth it. So you got to be able to have a script. So glad you asked. We never missed a client on commission. I'm not going to start today. Let me ask you a question. If I was doing 97% of the work for only 3% of the pay, would that be a fair deal? So that's just an example of like how I can train to get better every single day. Dad, do you remember? You told me that when I first started, I wasn't going to make any money because I needed to train to get better every single day. I would study the purchase contract every night before I go to sleep, and every morning I wake up, I would study the listing contract. My team can't believe it. I'm like, give me a letter and number in the purchase contract, and I'll read it to you almost word for word. I'll explain it to you. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what page it's on, because I study it every single day, because my competition isn't. My competition is not doing that. So I'm going to leave you guys with this, is ask yourself, write a question. How much are you worth? Because the truth is, this world will pay you whatever you're worth. So how do you calculate how much your time is worth? Do you take your 2024 income divided by 2,080 and that's how much your time is worth? Please do not do that. If you're only working 2,080 hours, you are you know what. You are effed. Because you got guys like me and guys like everybody on that table over there, they're working 3,000, 4,000 hours a year. So please, outwork the competition. That's pretty easy. But then you gotta remember, you're worth whatever you believe you're worth. And if you wanna write down that you're worth 500 an hour, 1,000 an hour, 2,000 an hour, that's completely fine. But the question is, do you believe it? And if you don't, focus on these three things. Find out what you're afraid of. Try to avoid it at all costs. You got to go ahead and become a better leader. You got to have a better attitude, and you got to do all the right things in this business. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and maybe you guys one day can also sell 92 homes and maybe 200 this year. Let's go, guys. Thank you very much. How's that for timing?
Oh my gosh, I love that, Justin. I love the love between you and your dad. That was just so amazing. Don't you love the overdog? That was so good, Justin. We're so lucky we have somebody like him on this island and like his father.